140 total penalty minutes tonight. What an absolute joke of a hockey game. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Fanatic Rundown. The Edmonton Oilers getting absolutely manhandled tonight by the Florida Panthers, losing 6-1 as the Panthers take a 2-1 series lead. 11 power plays tonight for the Florida Panthers. 11. They go 3 for 11 on the night. The Edmonton Oilers get 6 power plays of their own. They go 1 for 6. Their only goal coming off the stick of Corey Perry on the power play. Corey Perry has been the ageless wonder for the Edmonton Oilers, their top performer so far in the Stanley Cup Finals, and that just can't be the case. I mean, Draisaitl has been fairly solid, but I don't think we've seen a single goal from Connor McDavid yet, and he does not look 100%, but at the same time, in his own words, we got to dig in here because things are already looking pretty bleak here. 3 games in, nothing is over. The Edmonton Oilers, I believe, will come back with their best performance of the playoffs so far in Game 4 because this team, if they can do one thing right, they can always bounce back, and there is absolutely nowhere to go but up. This was by far their worst performance of the Stanley Cup playoffs, maybe their worst performance of the entire season. A 6-1 absolute travesty of a hockey game from this team. I've seen a lot of people saying the Edmonton Oilers got to play to the Florida Panthers level, play dirty like they do. Well, the Oilers certainly attempted that tonight after falling behind, and this game was completely out of reach. Trent Frederick breaking his stick over Sam Bennett's back. At one point in time, all 5 guys for both teams are fighting on the ice. It just got so incredibly ugly. Like I said off the top, 140 total penalty minutes given out in this hockey game. Guys were getting 10-minute misconducts like they were free passes. It was just an absolute joke from the officiating tonight, but a joke at the same time as well from the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not blaming the officiating as bad as it was. The Oilers had absolutely no hope in this hockey game with the performance that they turned in. The biggest effort they put forward tonight was playing dirty, playing to the level of the Florida Panthers, and like I said, some people want them to do that, and I just don't think it's a recipe for success for this team. That's not how this team got to the Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe that's the way some people will think you have to play against the Florida Panthers to beat them, but the Oilers played like a 4-line team, strong defensively, sticking to their game plans. That's how they got to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's how they're going to beat the Florida Panthers. In my opinion, they've got to get back to rolling 4 lines. I mean, it was just an absolute parade to the penalty box in the first period. Neither team could really get it going, but the Panthers get the early goal from Brad Marchand, because who else at 56 seconds in? Carter Verhaeghe on the power play. The Panthers were rolling. They were up 2-0. Corey Perry got the Oilers somewhat back into the hockey game for a short period of time, and at 1:40 of the second with his power play goal to make it 2-1. But Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, 4-1 after 2. Aaron Ekblad, Evan Rodriguez finish it off in the third period for the Panthers. The Oilers actually end up out shooting Florida 33-31 on the night in a little bit of irony, but no amount of shots was going to solve it for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Sergei Bobrovsky was red hot when he had to be, kept the Oilers at bay early, and as the game wore on, the Oilers were just interested in taking shots at the Panthers, taking bad penalties, and that's basically the cycle of this one. I mean, the Oilers are playing right into the Panthers' hands. We know the Panthers are a dirty team. It's helped them, but at the same time, they're a dirty team, but they're also an extremely skilled team. They have the guys that make you pay when you take those stupid penalties, which the Oilers did, and the Panthers going 3 for 11 tonight, and the Oilers should probably be thankful that the Panthers only went 3 for 11 tonight because it could have been much, much worse. Stuart Skinner certainly struggled tonight, and I think the Edmonton Oilers have to consider some changes going into game 4 on Thursday night. They've got a couple days to think about how they can reset from this one, but at the same time, I do have full confidence that this team will reset. If there's one thing they've done in these Stanley Cup playoffs and most of the year as well, if they have a bad game, they bounce back, and I'm expecting the Oilers' best game of the Stanley Cup playoffs so far in game 4 on Thursday night in Florida, and I'm expecting a tied series 2-2 heading back to Edmonton. I mean, there might be a few people calling me crazy, especially after watching this hockey game tonight, but I'm expecting the absolute best from the Edmonton Oilers in game 4. I think this team can dig deep, dig in, as Connor McDavid declared in last year's Stanley Cup Finals, and I believe this team will do that. Just get back to basics, get back to rolling 4 lines, play your defensive game, give your goaltender some help. Stuart Skinner certainly struggled tonight, but those shots the Panthers were getting, I mean, those were grade A opportunities, and they were perfect shots from some of the best Panther shooters. So it was a little mix of everything for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. I couldn't say there was any single thing that went right aside from the Corey Perry goal, and really nowhere to go but up for this team. And going into game 4, talking about a reset, I think the Oilers have to really strongly consider putting Calvin Pickard in there for game 4. I've loved Stuart Skinner since he came back in, but this is the Stanley Cup Finals. The Oilers have to find a way to get some things going their way, and I don't think Calvin Pickard starting in game 4 should be out of the question. I'd get Troy Stetcher back in there, get Jeff Skinner in there. Some kind of momentum the Oilers can get going their way, I think, has to be utilized. So Jeff Skinner, Troy Stetcher, Calvin Pickard, 3 changes I think the Edmonton Oilers should definitely look at. Maybe mix up the lines a little bit. The defensive pairings were shaken up a bit tonight. Maybe go back to some pairings that have been successful for you in the past. Just some kind of a large reset for this team to get them back going in the right direction. They weren't looking terrible after game 2. It was 1-1. Both game 1 and game 2 going to overtime. Game 1, a single overtime. Game 2, a double overtime. So either team could have been up 2-0, but the series was tied 1-1. Really, it's just been one horrifically bad hockey game for the Edmonton Oilers. So certainly no time to panic, but we are here in the Stanley Cup Finals, so you don't have as much time as you usually have. So the Oilers definitely have to win game 4, get this series tied up 2-2, heading back to Edmonton for game 5. And like I said, I believe they will do so. So just a horrible, horrible hockey game, guys. Every single possible thing the Edmonton Oilers could do wrong, they did. Horrible penalty after horrible penalty after horrible penalty. And pretty much right from puck drop, this team looked off. And like I said, nowhere to go but up for game 4 on Thursday night. That's all for me for tonight, guys. Let me know your thoughts on game 3 in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.